going to start a video today about the pros and cons of living in St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, we're going to be covering 5 pros and 5 cons, and we're going to get to it right now. So, pro number 1 is going to be the high quality of life. Everyone wants a high quality of life. Everyone wants a good quality of life. And a good quality of life can mean that's different to you than it is to me. Someone's high quality of life can be eating a slice of pizza on a subway, heading to work in New York City. Others' quality of life can be maybe an easier, a calmer type of lifestyle where, your work, your kids' school, the Whole Foods grocery store, the beach, world-class entertainment, and restaurants is everything but 20 minutes away from you. So the best thing is, if you want the more relaxed quality of life all year long, or maybe for just 6 months, then you can have that in St. Petersburg, Florida. All right, so a study was published in the American Association for Advanced Science, and it states that just seeing or being close to or being at an ocean actually will change your brain waves frequency. It puts yourself into a mild meditational state. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds amazing. Okay, so the study goes on to say that being around the ocean will actually make you more resilient to handling stress, and that stress won't rattle you as much. So regardless of who you are, I would much prefer going to a beach than hitting the bar or doing something else unhealthy. So I started off with this study because that is why there will always be a market for St. Petersburg, Florida. For one, it's surrounded by water, and you're only 20 minutes away from what Forbes magazine says is becoming one of the best cities in the world, which is Tampa. From Michelin star restaurants to world-class entertainment in Tampa, St. Petersburg gives you the option to live in a very laid-back coastal community while having the option just to go over to world-class amenities, increasing the quality of life here for everyone who decides to make St. Petersburg a home. You can live ultra luxury in St. Petersburg, or you can live simply. You can live on the beach, or you can live in open communities. No matter how you live, you will always be accepted. You will always have access to the museums, restaurants, world-class entertainment, and most importantly, the parks and oceans. There is a local statistic that blows my mind. The statistic in St. Petersburg is that 75% of people who live here in St. Petersburg live within a 10-minute walk of a park, which means you're only 10 minutes away from bringing your kids to a quick play at the park. You are only 10 minutes away from throwing a ball with your dog at the park. And you're only 10 minutes away of stepping in nature for a quick reset. And what I believe is all connected to a high quality of life. So you're going to navigate to stpetersburgrec.org. And once you get there, you're going to see all the things that have to offer. There are so many things like this park finder that you can navigate to. You just put in an address and it will tell you what the nearest park is from you. There's so many programs. We'll navigate to programs. From childcare to adult senior programs to teen programs to wellnesses. Pretty much everything you could possibly think of is here. We have tons of events, therapeutic recreation, aquatics. Let's click on aquatics right now because it is summertime, and who doesn't need a pool to go swim in? There are so many things you can do here. You can learn how to become a lifeguard. You can learn how to swim, and there's so many other aquatic programs. Click on more of the pools that are in the area. As you can see, there are several, and currently there must be a storm coming in, or maybe we have some lightning that have popped up, so they've closed these pools. But you notice if you scroll down, there are pools that are open that are probably just outside of that storm. The North Shore Aquatic is one of my favorites. It's one of 2 that are very close to my house, and you have to check this schedule because this is one of the very most popular pools. There's always high school, college kids swimming here, and then it has a really cool area for little kids to have fun in. So In terms of like activities for adults, this is really cool. These are outdoor courts for all sorts of sports, but you can just pick on which one you're looking for. Pickleball courts, these are all outside. And then we have indoor courts. Click on which one you want to go to and the times, and you'll find the schedule for those. I mean, even these are the basketball courts outside, and then you have indoor basketball as well. So tons of options. You really have no excuse if you want to keep busy, keep active, join a community because you just moved here and want to meet like-minded people, and overall just stay moving, right? If you stay moving, you stay young. So there are a ton of youth sports, teen activities. There are tons of events coming up. Let's go to the event calendar. What's going on? We have cardio, kickboxing, cardio, drumming, part of the Get Fit Healthy St. Pete. This is one of my favorites, the Paw Patrol. Get to watch a movie while you swim in a pool. And it's $1 for ages 3 to 12 and $2 from 13 and up. So lots of options for St. Petersburg Park and Recs, and I hope this helped. So pro number 2 is going to be the things to do. St. Petersburg has a variety of things to do, from museums to restaurants to world-class entertainment, and most importantly, the parks and the oceans. You might not know, but St. Petersburg is home to some of the best beaches, the most amazing beaches in the entire world. And they are the most relaxing, convenient. You can go high luxury resort style, or you can go super modest and bring your chairs and your whole setup however you want it. The sand is white, beautiful sanded. They have aqua water, and for 8 months out of the year, it's super refreshing. Yes, during the summer times, it does get warm, but here's a little local secret. The day after it rains, that cool rainwater meshes with the warm summer water, and it's super refreshing. And not many people know that trick, but that is just a little pro tip that I'd like to give you. Okay, so I spoke briefly about the museums. The museums in St. Pete are some of the best in the country. We have the Florida Holocaust Museum. We have the Museum of Fine Arts. We have the St. Petersburg Museum, the world famous Dali Museum. And by far, my favorite is the 66,000 square foot museum called the James Museum. It houses some of the biggest private collection of early American and Native American history. Thousands of sculptures and paintings and artifacts are here from a variety of artists from the 20th and 21st century. The museum cost $75 million to create, and it is in the heart of downtown St. Petersburg. And if you didn't know it was there, you might miss it. So having such a strong museum presence in St. Petersburg really speaks to the overall vibe of the city. There are so many surprising and refreshing things to explore here, and people of St. Petersburg do it with humility and grace. I hope you get to experience some of them. Okay, so what about restaurants? St. Petersburg has a variety of options to eat. Everything from coastal modern cuisines to come as you are, fish in a basket type places. With the Asian inspired culture we have here, to Mexican, to Italian, to world-class sandwiches, really St. Pete has it all. And if you don't think we have high-end options, there are over 10 Michelin star restaurants just 15 minutes away over in Tampa. And if you're talking about world class, we have Burns Steakhouse, which is supposed to be the best steakhouse in the world. Not the country, the world. And that is an experience you cannot miss. The dessert room is something very special, and you should never live a life without it. Okay, so what about entertainment? Entertainment. If you have never gone to a Tampa Lightning game, you should go. Even if you don't like hockey, owners have made it so much fun, and I really think you're going to get a sense of some of the most respectful, fun, family-oriented people that live in the Bay. It's just an overall good time. you like concerts, we have the Florida Amphitheater, which is one of my favorites because it's outside. And when Amelia's not having hockey games, they turn the space into a music venue. But for St. Petersburg, we have Janus Live and Vinoy Park, and the city just created a new venue on the St. Pete Pier. So we spoke about the recreational options you have in Pro 1 and going to one of the 100 parks we have and maybe just doing very little. Because with life going a million miles an hour, sometimes all we need to do is nothing. And doing nothing in a pleasing environment is both mentally and physically healthy for you. Okay, so with everything that I just mentioned, if you want to get a sense of who I am at my core, without the suit, without the tie, I'm a person who just loves to be in complete peace and quiet. I like to be with my dog and my wife on a beach, looking at beautiful water with a good sandwich and something ice cold, a replenishing drink. And besides the small off-charted islands of the Bahamas, or maybe my home and back in the Florida Keys, the place that I go to the most in St. Petersburg is Fort DeSoto Park. It's one of my all-time favorite things to do. It's something I look forward to at least bi-week or every week. And it's one that will bring my heart rate down as soon as I come over the Pinellas Bayway Bridge. I know exactly what to expect every time I go, and that place is Fort DeSoto. Fort DeSoto has a little bit of everything for everyone. It has 7 miles of park. It has 1,100 acres of 5 interconnected islands or keys, home to plants, mangroves, wetlands, palm hammocks, hardwoods. And for homeowners that don't like to water every day, there's a perfect example of display of plants you can put back in your home, and you can find these plants in any kind of nursery. Growing up in the Keys is very much like going to Fort DeSoto Beach. Each of the species of plants plays a vital role in the preservation and protection of the natural environment. And what is better way to educate your kids on preservation and have fun while building some sandcastles? I'm not sure there is. There is kayaking, there are sandbars where boats pull up that you can go to, where you can be and act like a local, meet other locals, get in that community of boating. And if you're not satisfied yet, maybe you will be when I tell you there is one of the best off-leash dog beaches in the country right at Fort DeSoto Park. If you're like me, who really uses this time to both swim and play with your dog, then go on a weekday. Don't go on a weekend. I repeat, weekends are filled with maybe a couple hundred dogs, where on the weekdays, it tends to be a lot less popular and a lot less dogs. So if you're like me, who likes to accomplish multiple things at the same time, then going to the dog beach and throwing the ball with your dog for 10 or 15 minutes, and then going for a swim, it's a very safe place. Your dog really can't go anywhere. And if your dog is a lot like mine, who's basically a Velcro dog, then your dog's not going to go far. He's going to keep his eyes on you the whole time. So you're looking to move out of the city or relocate, and you're wondering what kind of jobs there are or what the economy is like. So Pro 3 on our list is going to be jobs, employment, and economy. The St. Petersburg has a very healthy market. The economics are both government, state, and private. A few of the big players in the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area are MacDill Air Force, which primarily focuses on security and defense. We have the Baycare Health System, we have JP Morgan, and government jobs. So about 15% of all Florida state jobs are based in Tampa Bay in terms of government jobs. So little heads up, if you're a local business or a restaurateur looking to create a restaurant in a growing community, check out St. Petersburg, Florida. There are a few opportunities I'd like to talk to you about in some interesting places where I think the market is going. I think there is a variety of opportunities here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and places that people might not necessarily be looking. Downtown St. Petersburg is not the only place that I believe there's opportunity. With the growing popularity of St. Petersburg, there's a variety of neighborhoods in St. Petersburg that are going to be the next neighborhood to live in. That's something that I will get into a little bit later, but if you're a restaurateur or someone looking to start a business, reach out to me and I'd love to help you start a business and create more and better opportunities for people that live in St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay, so Pro 4 on our list is the cost of living. Compared to other cities that I believe offer a very high quality of life or maybe a similar quality of life, St. Petersburg, Florida is 2% lower than the national average. Healthcare is 8% lower. Housing expenses are 11% lower, and utilities are 3% lower. The median rent is about $1,200, and the median house sold or purchase is $400,000. You'll spend about $200 on average for utilities such as power, water, sewer, and garbage. And depending on what your internet is and who your supplier is, it's all dependent upon that as well. But in a nutshell, St. Petersburg, Florida is 2% lower than the national average. So if you like saving money and you like living in a high quality of life, St. Petersburg might be for you. The fifth and final pro on our list is about saving money. It's not just a St. Petersburg thing, it's a Florida thing. St. Petersburg or Florida has no state income tax. And compared to most cities, it has lower property taxes. However, property taxes have increased, which are based on the home's assessed value in the local tax rate. So taxes usually climb as home values rise. The good thing about taxes in Florida is if you live in one house and move to another house, you can have what is called portability tax. You can actually take the same tax rate and move that tax rate over to the same house. Obviously, this is county regulated, but this really doesn't mean anything to people that are relocating here. Obviously, if you're relocating here, you don't have portability options, but it's something to keep in mind that yes, home taxes and prices might be rising, but that means home value is also rising. And when you go to resell your home, making more money than you put into the house once you go to sell it is always a good thing. With the type of lifestyle that St. Petersburg has to offer, everything comes with a price. So, on number one con that I feel is the most annoying is that auto and home insurance is high. Nationally, it's about the fourth highest in the whole country. And the Tampa Bay area is known to be one of the highest accident-prone cities in the whole country. So this is my take on it because I've only been in one accident my entire life of driving in Florida. And it was because I was 17 or 18 years old and I was driving fast to high school because I was late and I ran a stoplight. And good thing I was only going 11, 12 miles an hour. I drove like a 1985 Pontiac Fiero, and the person that I saw it coming slightly hit was an old minivan. So, with these circumstances, luckily, cars are faster, cars are more expensive, and obviously cars, accidents become a lot more dangerous and a lot more expensive. Here's my take on why I believe accidents are so prone in the Tampa Bay area and Florida in general. So 25% of the people who are driving around at any point in time, they don't live here and they're lost. And they often, for some reason, like to drive slow in the fast lane. And another 25% of the people that drive around are old and they shouldn't be driving at all, right? And then there's the 50% of us who are just getting off of work and have had a long day. And the only thing that we want to do after picking our kids up from school is to go home and have a nice dinner and relax with our families. But we can't do that because we have these two groups of people driving around. They don't know what they're doing, and they often create havoc and erratic behavior on the highway. It just happens. But then you throw in crazy rainstorms that happen pretty much every single day around 4 o'clock in the summer. And then you get a whole different variable that causes accidents. So here's my take on it. Watch where you're going. Don't drive erratically. Maybe drive in the middle lane or drive in the slow lane, which is the far right lane. And then don't text, right? Have a clear plan of where you're going. Simply, put it in Google Maps and tell people, especially in those high tensed areas where St. Petersburg and Florida and Tampa is, to stay focused on the road, and you'll be fine, I promise you. If you're watching this video, you want to know about home and flood insurance. So here's my take on it. For my clients who buy houses with cash, they don't need flood or home insurance. It's up to you what you want for content insurance, but that's based off of the personal items that you want to insure. For those of you who can't, here's some insight. There are plenty of low-risk flood areas that won't require you to have flood insurance unless your replacement value is up to $600,000. As of 2024, all homes in Florida are required to have some form of flood insurance. This will continue until 2027, until all homes will need to have some form of flood insurance. Now, these flood insurance rates are not going to be as drastic that are in low flood areas that are in high flood risk areas. Now, if you have questions on what a low flood area risk is and a high flood risk area is, just send me a text. Or you can look at a property and determine what flood zone it is in to determine if the flood zone is high or low risk. The best low risk flood areas are labeled X or X500. The highest flood area or high flood areas are as well known as A and AE. These areas are going to cost you more for flood insurance and are in high flood risk areas. So here's my pointer for people that are moving to an area that like Florida or like St. Petersburg, Florida. You go to a high elevation. I would say stay above 5 feet. That's not saying that area is going to be in a low flood risk area. It's actually most commonly not. I would say where it starts to become low risk is probably 7, 8, 9, 10 and above. So if you're thinking about relocating to St. Petersburg, Florida, this is a very, very important topic, which is why I have made it a part of my life to try to understand everything that I possibly can to be able to provide to you the most information you need in order to find a house that you feel safe and that you could afford. So I hope this information helps. If you get a house that has good roof and it has straps and it has all the things that you possibly need to make that roof give you the most credits for your insurance, and you have hurricane impact windows, you are going to be paying a substantial amount less in home insurance. And again, if you have any more questions about that, please just text me. My number is 727-320-3098, and I'd love to help you find a good insurance broker, find an estimated cost of insurance on a house that you're looking at. But if you are looking for an estimated cost on a house, you're going to have to give me a few days. It takes a lot of work. I need a lot of documents from the homeowner, and that might not be as easy as it looks. So after selling real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida, the second most annoying challenge my clients face is finding a house that fits their needs. So the second con on our list is kind of a loaded second con. Houses are old, inventory is low, new construction is hard to find, and there are very few gated communities. Okay, because I feel like all of this kind of meshes in together, so I don't want to create this long video. Why not just create a longer second con? So houses are older than a lot of the houses that people are used to. Some of our favorite neighborhoods are historic, charming, but they were built 100 years ago. So they may or may not work, or may not be move-in ready, or they may or may not be outfitted for the modern family. Most historic homes are choppy. There's a lot of rooms. It's not as open as everyone really wants it these days. If you are relocating here from a different city and you find a house that you love in the perfect neighborhood, that you might pass on it because it's not move-in ready. Well, when I got into this business, my mentor taught me to create inventory by creating relationships with vendors and contractors so we could make an outdated house more comfortable to live in. So that's what I did. I made it a part of my life to, and this is not easy, to find vendors that I align with, that are on time, that say what they don't say, to say what they want, they mean, or say what they do, who don't smoke on the job, who show up and don't have a drinking problem, which is extremely hard to find. Okay, so I work hand in hand with some of the most reliable contractors in the Tampa Bay. There is no project too big for these guys, and no matter if you need a permit pulled or a driveway built or a roof put in or a kitchen built or a complete renovation, I can help you. Okay? Moving on to new construction. New construction has just recently become a very popular item in the St. Petersburg for the past few years. So finding a reliable builder with a good track record is no easy task. This is a second part of my business that I decided from watching one of my mentors do that I knew that I needed to spend time in. And it's taken me years to figure this out. So I've spent a considerable amount of time building relationships with vendors and these builders to find out about new construction projects that are coming up. This also speaks to large developments. I have taken time to develop relationships with developers that have proven track record of building everything from luxury townhomes to commercial buildings to single-family homes. So at this exact moment, I might be aware of a property or a project that could be meant for you. It is not known to the public yet, and the reason why people don't put them to the public yet is because they are so unique and they will go so fast that these builders and these developers already have relationships with realtors like me to find them great clients who are not going to be a pain in the butt. And yes, sometimes, things are needed to be modified, and that's always though. But it's about a relationship, it's about the developer, it's about the builder. And right now, I might have a deal that I have in my back pocket that might be perfect for you. Gated communities. Gated communities usually offer two types of advantages. They're deed restricted and they're safe havens. Deed restrictions in terms of what your grass has to look like, maybe what colors you can paint, types of restrictions that offer proper aesthetics. And it offers safe havens. Gated obviously means people that, everyone kind of knows who lives there. So there are only probably 10 St. Petersburg gated communities. All the neighborhoods are divided by main streets and avenues, the majority of them in St. Petersburg. And this is one of the most challenging themes my clients face when they're moving from Chicago, or they're moving from New York, or they're moving from California a lot now, and Texas. The communities in St. Pete are all wide open. They're divided by main streets and avenues. And it is important to understand that you can still live in an open community and still be very safe. In a whole, 99% of St. Pete is in a low crime area. And the highest known violent crime located is right here. I'm going to show you. Here's the crime map. I've indicated that I want to see violent crime, and this ad's going to continue to pop up. So as you can see, the violent crime generally stays in the downtown south area. And let me get a handy dandy tool out. And I'll change the color so we can see it. Okay, out of here. So this is obviously the South, St. Pete, where there's a majority of the crime. And then there's some areas here that are crime, and then here, and then here. And then this is not even in St. Pete. This there's some apartments over here. And then this is all downtown, where I've spoken to city officials about this and why the crime map is like this. This is, homelessness. These crimes are just normal, city crimes. They're not like vigilantes and murders and stuff like that. These things are happening like they would in any kind of city. So get this out of here. And, you're going to have crime in any city, right? So to show you what, St. Pete looks like, because this is not all St. Pete. Right? So and then like this. So that's St. Pete. And yeah, so now that you know where the crime is, you can use this handy dandy tool and you can figure out. I mean, these are really hard topics. I don't see anyone talking about crime on the internet. I think they're scared to talk about it. It's also very, very it teeters on what's illegal and what's not illegal. You cannot tell people where to live. You cannot steer them to where to neighborhoods. It's called steering. However, I don't care. I could show you a crime map and show you where the crime is. Generally, St. Pete is a very, very safe place to live. And like any city, things are going to happen. But, most of the neighborhoods in North St. Pete where this is marked is very, very safe. Obviously, Shore Acres is one of the safest because it's far removed. You have Snell Isle and Venetian Isle, and then the Old Northeast. And I was shocked to see that like some of this is red because that's like Crescent Lake. But I assume it's because this is where Uptown is, and there's a lot of apartments here. There is some low income apartments. And then this is the pier, which I was shocked to kind of see that there's crime down there, but that kind of makes sense because, I'm sure that there's probably some crime that happens down there. It's people do stupid things. I would say if you're home, they're not doing this in broad daylight. That's for sure. The cop presence down there is crazy everywhere. So majority of these crimes are happening at nighttime, and they're happening probably like well into the early morning. And you have some amazing neighborhoods over here that have some orange in it. You have Euclid St. Paul, which again buffers, that uptown area, and you have a lot of these apartments over here, these low income apartments out of Vesta, which makes sense. And then you have Woodlawn, which looks just chilling in the green, right? For some reason, it's just green. And then you have one part of Woodlawn that's in the yellow, right? And then right above that's Magnolia, right? And then Magnolia is probably going to go till here. And then you have Allendale. And then you have Euclid Heights. Right? I mean, all these little pocket neighborhoods. And that's why it's a little confusing for people to move here. And you have Old Northeast. This is Old Northeast. This is part of the Snell Isle. This is where the golf course is. Right. So I hope this helped. I know it's kind of hard to figure out while you're here, but the majority of St. Pete's really safe. Just have to, I would say just, use this handy dandy crime map, not as like a Bible or anything, just like kind of like a point of reference.
And if you need me to remind you where this crime map is, I'm going to have it in the link below. So hope this helps.
So with that said, you will find crime everywhere. No neighborhood, no matter where you are, is allergic to crime. What people want to know watching this video is what kind of crime happens in the majority of St. Petersburg neighborhoods. It is my experience that the majority of crime that happens in the majority of neighborhoods is petty. Petty theft and domestic disputes. Two things that we have little control over. Petty theft, actually, you have a lot of control over. The majority of petty crime in the majority of St. Petersburg neighborhoods is people going inside your car. You lock your car, no crime. It's really that simple. So I have lived in luxury neighborhoods, and I have lived in neighborhoods where the median household sold was $500,000. And I don't care if you're walking at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I have not felt a single time. I have not felt threatened a single time. So for more information, I'm going to include a crime map so you can start to go through, make sure you understand there's criteria of low, violent crime, petty crime, and all those sorts. So you can really find out what's going on. But I will promise you, some of these areas, the best known areas, do have crime in it, because you cannot stop someone from committing a crime in your family. I mean, mental health is real and things happen that we don't expect. With inventory so low, it's crucial to work with a brokerage that has a huge scope of agents. One of the very reasons why Keller Williams is so beneficial and valuable to me and my clients is that out of all the market center, my market center does $1 billion. And guess where they're located? They're located in St. Petersburg. Our office is one of the most recognizable and respected brokerages in the city, and I'm not just saying that. It's one of the main reasons I'm here. Beating Douglas Elliman, Sotheby's, anyone and everyone, Keller Williams St. Pete is one of the #1 most recognizable and most used brokerage in the whole central North Florida. And the reason why I say that is not to boast or for ego. I have to pay them $26,000 a year to give my clients more opportunities, to have more access to pocket listings under my brokerage. So with my brokerage, I'm able to create more inventory and help more of my clients find homes that are not open to the public. For public transportation, and the fact that St. Petersburg is a destination that people travel to and vacation to makes for a busy city. So for Con 3, St. Pete can be busy. The St. Petersburg has done a number of different things to combat the transit options. There is the Sunrunner that connects downtown to South Pasadena. There is the PSTA, or the Pinellas Suncoast Transit, which offers 41 routes, including 2 express routes connecting downtown St. Pete to downtown Tampa. There's also the Downtown Looper, which is free and makes traveling around the central avenues very easy. There's also the Cross Bay Ferry that connects downtown St. Pete to downtown Tampa. But to be honest with you, the schedule is always hit or miss, and there always seems to be something going on with it. So I would not recommend that being a reliable transit option for you. So for other unconventional options, we do have e-scooters, and you're allowed to actually drive a golf cart. The funny thing about golf carts are kind of like it kind of plays in with the vibe of St. Pete. St. Pete is a golf karting community, and there's a lot of back streets you can take. You can literally get downtown. If you're on 100th Street, you can take back roads pretty much by crossing some main avenues and streets, but you can feel completely comfortable taking a golf cart pretty much miles away from downtown, which is kind of cool. With poor transportation comes more cars, and with more cars comes more traffic. If you commute to work, start to learn what times of the day are heavy traffic times, and if you can avoid the major times, you will be less likely to be stuck in traffic. But With that said, traffic is not as bad as other cities, and I believe that even though people think that St. Petersburg is busy, living in other cities like I have, I don't think St. Pete really could classify as a busy city. One of the most important topics, if you are a family moving or relocating to the St. Petersburg area, is schools. So number 4 on our list is the public school system in St. Pete gets a bad rep. I'm a firm believer that if parents that care equals successful students. If you are a parent who stays engaged, who attends school events, and makes sure homework is done, your children is going to thrive. Having said that, St. Pete has some of the best fundamental magnet schools in the state. So my suggestion on magnet and fundamental schools is this. Locate a magnet school that I will provide a list for in the description below. Then once you find a magnet school, reach out to me so we can start to locate some houses. School first, house second. That's how I would operate. That's how I've suggested to clients, and it's worked out in the past. You will have a greater chance of getting your child into that school if you live close to the school. It's not always the case, but that's what happens the majority of the time. So they receive applications in January and they accept your child in February. You have a hard time getting into any magnet school if you do not participate in the lottery system. With that being said, there are options for public and free schools, such as in St. Petersburg, Shore Acres Elementary, North Shore Elementary, and Lynch Elementary. So I hope this helped, but if you have any more questions, there are options for your children outside of St. Petersburg. Remember, if you look at St. Petersburg is here, but this is Pinellas County. This whole stretch of land here, this whole thing is Pinellas County. St. Petersburg sits right here. So you have options in South Pasadena, you have Gulfport, you have Seminole, you have Largo, you have Safety Harbor, you have Bel Air, Clearwater, Palm Harbor. You have options to go to. Obviously, you might not send your kid to school all the way in Palm Harbor if you live in St. Petersburg, but it does give you an idea that there are more options just because the St. Petersburg public school system isn't quite to the high standards that it should be, that your kids don't have options. So for any more questions, reach out to me. I love to help. This is actually one of the areas that I love to actually help. This is because it gives people the most satisfaction when I can help them find a good school for their children. Petersburg, Florida is hot. It's summertime right now. To go outside just to take my dog for a walk, every part of my body is sweating. I take 5 rinse showers a day, and that's no exaggeration. Working outside I worked outside yesterday. It was 4th of July, and I have this landscape project that I keep putting off, and it was hard. I woke up like a train hit me, and I was only out there for like 3 hours. I had to take out this old patio, and there's a big oak tree there, so there's roots everywhere, and the old owners left all these concrete things in this dirt to, like, I guess, create stability for the old patio thing. I don't know. It was super annoying. But instead of paying someone to do this, I usually torture myself and put myself through, hard labor to just really sit in the moment and appreciate things in life. That's something that I do. It's something that I've always done. No pain, no gain. It's kind of who I am. So it's hot. Now, the good thing about living in Florida and living in St. Petersburg, Florida, is you have access to the park and rec system we spoke about. So you have tons of options for a pool day. There's so many pools in St. Petersburg, Florida, that they're not overwhelmed or overcrowded. You can literally be the only person at that pool sometimes, which is extremely nice. And then after a cool rain, which it just rained today, and it was, 95 degrees yesterday, but now the ocean is cool with fresh water, and I could go to the ocean right now, cool off in the ocean, watch the sunset on the most magical sunsets that the world has ever seen. St. Petersburg, Florida has the most magical sunsets, and have a phenomenal night. And I could do that, and it can only take me 15 minutes. So yes, it is warm, and there is no undermining the warmness of, downplaying the warmness that comes to St. Petersburg, Florida. It is something that has actually caused health issues for me in the past. I had a heat stroke about 10 years ago when I lived in Key West, being born and raised down there. For some reason, it was after work. I was moving some furniture after working in the kitchen because I was a cook at that point in time. And I decided to move furniture, and I almost died. I mean, I literally had a heat stroke. And that's crazy to think, because I used to play roller hockey in the mid-summers growing up, and all day. So, but that's what happens when you get older. I think that's how I've said it. That's how I think. So drink water, stay in the shade, don't go outside during peak times for anything for long periods of time. And I'm not saying that it's like unlivable. I'm just saying that it can get warm, and to be cautious, to keep hydrated. So I hope these things have helped. If you found this video helpful, maybe you found me amusing, maybe you found my sense of humor to be a fit to yours, maybe you found my professionalism to be aligned with yours, maybe you found some value in how I can help you relocate your family or purchase an investment property or development, or maybe look into some commercial property. If you found me valuable at all, I would love for you to hit subscribe or tap a bell, but more importantly, I'd love for you to reach out to me either by text or email, homing pigeon, paper airplane. I don't care. However you reach out to me is fine with me. For all my foreign clients, I'm going to be including my WhatsApp phone number. I've been getting a lot of international clients purchasing in St. Petersburg, Florida. It is a great place to come and visit. It is a great place to spend part of the year here. And I look forward to working with you and getting to know you through this journey. I love what I do, and I love what I do because I'm important for like a very, short period of your life. And it'd be great to be important for like your whole life, but I completely understand that. I know how much responsibility it is to be a realtor for someone who to represent you in the biggest purchase of your life. I've done it time and time again to people all across the board, and I love it. So I look forward to hearing from you, and you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care. Thanks.